Mhm. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Gods. My name is Brandon Big Poppy Medina. I'm here with my man, Rudy Compos. How we doing, brother?
Good, man. It's fantasy football season already. We've seen preseason come
Mm.
and go. It's time to get started, brother.
It's time to get started, brother. Put your money where your mouth is. Make sure you're ready to roll in every fantasy league you're at. We are live at the Mad Pecker Brewing Company right here. We are happy to be here. One of our incredible sponsors, our title sponsor. We're going to be talking with the owner, Jason, just a little bit later. They got MF Doom stuff all over the place, your sports stuff, hip hop culture, sports culture meeting. It's incredible. And Rudy Campos wearing a fire Peppa Pig t-shirt. What else do you want? What else do you want?
Dude, it's fire because you know what? This is
You got to stand out, baby.
if you're a Peppa Pig fan, like me and my daughter are, you knew this was the most savagest moment in Peppa Pig history.
You repping for the dads, dog.
Exactly,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
Girl dads, man. You know about that.
Girl dads, yes, sir, man. Hey, well, listen, we have a stack show, man. It's going to be a fun one. We definitely want to talk everything Mad Pecker. We're here live on location. Bring your draft parties, bring your draft questions, and bring a thirsty and healthy appetite, man, because they're serving some great drinks and great food. We'll be here from 12 to 3 p.m. We're actually in here. We got the special, brother. We're in here before doors open. You know what I'm saying? We're here on the down low. Joe Garcia's here, our producer. He's repping out here at Mad Pecker, but we're talking everything from the news of Jonathan Taylor still not moving things, the big news of Josh Jacobs, right? And then we have, of course, every Cowboys fan is asking about Trey Lance when really we probably shouldn't be talking too much about him. But then we're going to be talking about some QB tiers, late running backs, late wide receivers, all that good stuff. But before we do, let's recognize our incredible sponsors. We do have Mad Pecker. Of course, we are here live on location today from 12 to 3 p.m. We'll be here to hang out with you guys. So Mad Pecker, of course, your favorite place for IPAs, your stouts. We were talking, me and Joe Garcia, about what drink do we start with first. It's going to be an incredible time here. Your food, fried mushrooms, fried cheese bites, lots of IPAs, L sours, lagers, and more. I'm excited, brother. Rudy, are we gonna be drinking today, brother? Is that what it sounds like?
That's what it sounds like. I think you and Joe are going to drink a lot more than I am, but yeah, I'm definitely going to try it. I saw a lot of what they have there, and I'm excited.
I'm excited, man. It's a cool vibe here for sure. And then with that, as your boy, if you can't see, I'm rocking the Bear County Social Apparel shorts today, baby. We're rocking some Bear County Social Apparel. As always, my boys over there are incredible. If you're looking for anything San Antonio related, Spurs, if you're looking for your Road Runners, if you're looking for anything from the Brahmas to current events in San Antonio, they are your one-stop shop. Go check them out. Bear County Social Apparel is where you need to be. And of course, last but not least, we got our boys over there at Mudslingers, your favorite drive-through coffee shop. The mini donuts have me and Joe in a chokehold. My boy Rudy has lost so much weight in the past 4 years, but even then, I feel like the mini donuts are too hard to not want to try, bro.
I'm gonna let y'all do that for me. I will sit back and enjoy, the alien from Mudslingers as a master drink. Also, shout out to Special Leaf. You can buy a Special Leaf tea there. I've been drinking those a lot too as well. So get them at Mudslingers.
They also got a banana pancake drink I saw on social media. I mean, they are just coming out with some fire. So big shout out to our sponsors. With that, we'll get the show started. Oh, yes, another big shout. Locked On Spurs, our boy Jeff Garcia, who's the man, sir, Mr. Moneybags Jeff over there. We hope to see him soon. He's coming down to San Antonio, moving back down, so he needs to come out here to Mad Peckers and have a drink with us as well. So with that, sir, we're going to talk some fantasy football?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I live for. I'm only like in 16 leagues, so
you're in a ton, brother.
Let's just do a lot here.
Good God. So with that, let's talk about some big fantasy news. Josh Jacobs, 1 year deal, $12 million, gets the bag. If you drafted early and you got him in the third round, how big of a steal does that look like now?
That's a massive steal for Josh Jacobs. You're talking about a guy who's a tier 1 running back, going into this season. But because of all the issues that he was having with the Raiders, not getting that contract, I actually bumped him down to around tier 2, tier 3. For Josh Jacobs. But if you're able to draft him knowing that he's securing with the Raiders right now, you got a massive, massive deal right there for him.
Oh, yeah, I think it's huge, man. I mean, you're talking about a guy who now should be going in the first round, right? You got him late. So that's huge. Somebody else who's falling into that second and third round territory is Jonathan Taylor, who we don't know what that looks like. Talk to me a little bit about what you're doing. You've been a Jonathan Taylor homer. And I mean, in my league, we play in the league together. In your own leagues, you've had him since getting drafted into the NFL.
Yeah.
You've said you've given up every share you got of Jonathan Taylor.
So, it's terrible Taylor is what it looks like for Jonathan Taylor here. Now, here's the thing with Jonathan Taylor. running back one, probably the best running back, going into the last fantasy football season. Obviously, I had shares in Taylor. I've lost all of my shares in Taylor this year. Why? If he stays with Indianapolis, he's screwed. Anthony Richardson, brand new quarterback, their rookie quarterback, that whole offense looks terrible. He wants to go to Miami. It's the whole Dame Lillard thing. You're trying to get to Miami. Are you going to get to Miami? Probably not. Miami makes some sense for him, but you know what? They're not going to have the assets to send back to Indianapolis. You're going to probably see Taylor go to maybe like Carolina, where if you go to Carolina, another rookie quarterback, you got a terrible offense. For me, Taylor goes from tier 1 down to about tier 3 when it comes to running back, because we do not know the situation. For me, stay away from Taylor from round 1, 2. You get him in 3, you're good.
Sounds good. Well, listen, we do have a big question over here. We have from the Star Wars Stuff podcast, if you can see that. That's Joe Garcia's boy. He said, what's the number one piece of advice to give for this year's draft? I'll let you start, and then I'll go second, sir.
So the biggest advice I give you this year is there are a very limited amount of running backs. Running backs were premium years past. This year, you've got maybe a handful of running backs. We're talking McCaffrey, Eckler, Bijan Robinson. Maybe you're looking at Saquon Barkley. Those 4 guys are really the guys you kind of want to get. If you can't get him, receiver upload. You got to get some receivers. So I think receivers are taking that step to where we saw running backs years back. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, those guys are going to go super early in drafts.
I'll tell you what, there's a reason you and I are friends, brother. You know what I mean? There's a reason you and I are fantasy gods together.
You steal my money in fantasy all the time?
Never that, but I think
the ATM or what?
I think what it is, man, is I completely agree. Wide receivers this year are heavy load up on them. There is a massive teardrop after round 3 for wide receiver. Whereas running backs, you're still getting starting running backs, Rashad White, Alexander Madison. Maybe not the most sexy picks, but definitely weekly starters for your league later on in drafts, especially Jahmyr Gibbs, people like that who are just falling. And so I would say if you're looking at starting a fantasy league or you're doing a fantasy league, if you're not getting Eckler, McCaffrey, or Bijan, or now Josh Jacobs too. I'd even throw him in that conversation.
Yeah, Jacobs now.
Those 4, I think even Saquon, there might be, he's a top talent. So maybe those 5, if you're not looking to do that in the first or second rounds, and let's say you play to how the draft falls to you, wide receiver stock up, go crazy, because there's plenty of running backs. And again, like always, plenty of deep receivers to also lock in for your flex plays and bye week plays as well. We also had another question come in here from our boy Chris Leha, who will be here later on today, I believe, coming and
Bust
having a drink with us.
Chris.
I'm telling you, bust down the gates, brother. Go crazy. But he said, we all know Kelsey is a top tier tight end. Who's your top 3 after him? Now, we're going to get into tight end talks a little bit later of when it's too late to draft a tight end or what's the latest you can. But top 3 after Kelsey. So your top 4, sir.
So Darren Waller is at the Giants now, and that kind of gives Daniel Jones. We saw what he did with Bellinger last year. Bellinger was actually kind of a name coming up for the Giants. I kind of like Darren Waller coming in this year to join that list of elite tight ends. And I'm going to throw another name out there. Now, you've got sexy picks out there. You've got great picks out there that are going to jump at you. TJ Hawkinson with Minnesota. You got other guys there. But the one guy that I'm high on that you don't hear a lot about that's going to be an elite tight end at the end of the year, he may even join the likes of Mark Andrews as well.
Wow.
Is Sam Laporta from Detroit. You saw what Hawkinson did for the Lions back last year. Laporta is that same guy. He's going to, with Jameson Williams being out for a while.
Yep.
They're going to need that second guy. So Laporta is going to be that guy. Not only do you have Jahmyr Gibbs catching out of the backfield, it's going to open up more lanes for Porta. Give me Sam Laporta all year this year.
Okay, sounds good. For me, I think after Kelsey, it's pretty simple, man. For me, I think after Kelsey, you got Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, and I'm all in on Darren Waller as well. I think those are the 3 I'd be taking after Kelsey. Darren Waller has jumped up my boards constantly. You can, if you're drafted on ESPN, almost always in the 7th round, which is nothing for a tight end that could finish in the top 3. Kelsey's, of course, going to be in the 1st round. Mark Andrews will be a 3rd rounder. And then as you continue going from there, I mean, you can throw in the Kittles, you can throw in whoever. I think after Kelsey and Andrews, they're kind of interchangeable between the top 5 after that. I mean, any of those guys could finish number 3, but you kind of expect Kelsey and Andrews to finish 1 and 2. Andrews has beat out Kelsey, I believe, only 1 year. But I know Kelsey, I mean, the dude is a monster. At some point, he's going to stop, right? Like the age is going to get to him, but it just doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. But with that, we appreciate your questions. Get your questions to us. You can follow me on Twitter at Big Poppy Brennan, and where they can follow you, Rudy.
Twitter, it's at Sweep the League. Pretty easy there. Pretty easy. And before you go into anything else, we'll tight end, man. Let me throw one out there. Musgrave out of Green Bay. I mean, he's not getting a lot of love, but Jordan Love, young quarterback, he's coming into the league of his own. You need a security blanket. I've been high on Musgrave as well. Go out there. If you're going to get a late guy, Musgrave is another guy you want to look at the tight end position.
That sounds good. Well, hey, listen, we are here in Mad Pecker, and because we're here, we wanted to talk with our boy Jason of Mad Pecker. If you don't mind coming on over, Jason, our boy, we'll let you borrow one of the mics over here, man. All right. Jason, take a seat, man. We're here, Mad Pecker Brewing Company. We're finally here, man. We're here, man. You're rocking the MF Doom tee.
You know I got the Doom going, man. Absolutely, man.
So, if anything, we'll speak real close to the mic, brother. But tell us a little bit about what makes Mad Pecker so unique, man, and why you're excited for today.
Absolutely, man. Well, first of all, it's great to be a sponsor with the Fantasy Gods, man. I mean, I'm an avid fantasy player, so this is one of those things right up my alley, right? I got to get into supporting you guys, but no, man, Mad Pecker. I mean, we're really excited for football season to start. Like COVID's coming out, man. People are starting to come out, watch the games again. So we're like gearing up, doing a lot of cool stuff, happy hours, all that, all those exciting things to come out, get people to watch the games, and then just get some of your listeners out here, man. That's
absolutely, man. Absolutely. So where did the ideas start, man, for Mad Pecker? Talk to me about the name Mad Pecker, all that good stuff.
It's a crazy story, but on the short and condensed version, man. I did a lot of this. I was in IT for about 15 years, right?
Nice.
I got into home brewing. I just took a passion for it, and I really got excited doing it. Decided I'm going to open up my own spot one day, and my wife eventually just got to the point where she was like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. You need to just open this place. We're done, right? So, here we are, 8 years later. Still coming out of the pandemic, but we're doing good. And just brewing beer, man. It's a community culture. Used to live in the neighborhood, so I mean, a lot of our beers are named after like the subdivisions and stuff like that.
That's great, man.
That's fun, man.
That's awesome. And so with that, talk to me a little bit about your favorite drinks on the menu, and then also what people don't know is there's some fire food coming out of that kitchen
Big
too,
time,
man.
Scratch kitchen, man. But yeah, with the drinks, I'm a huge IPA guy, right? So
gotcha.
I focus a lot on brewing hazy IPAs. Whirlwind Through Citra is one that we've got on right now. It's really, really nice. But really, we brew across the spectrum. We're not like, just brewing IPAs. We brew a lot of lagers. We brew a lot of stouts, porters, anything, man. The only thing we don't really touch on is sours, but we have a nice guest selection of sour beers. And then you're right, man. Our food it's great bar food. It pairs well with the beer. So from our wings to our burgers, pizzas. I mean,
nice.
you can bring in somebody and you're going to find something for them. Nothing healthy, right? Nothing healthy here, man.
It's bar food.
But it is good. It's elevated. Like I said, it's all scratch food. So it is a good time.
That's all. And it's comfort food. That's right.
Man.
It's comfort food. And so with that, I know you talk about every drink also that you guys make now has a cool little hip hop name to it or names of the area around here. Was that kind of the plan going into it, or did it kind of just fall into that?
Dude, it wasn't really the plan, but the one thing that I like about being able, when you own your own business, right? I mean, you can kind of do the things that you want to do, and people kind of gravitated towards once we started doing a lot of like the hip hop themed beers, which for me is a big thing because I'm a huge hip hop head. So when we did a lot of like the Doom beers, R.I.P. Doom, Prodigy, right? A huge Mobb Deep guy, right? So we've done some beers after Mobb Deep, after some Prodigy lyrics. So it's just kind of just a fun thing. We've got a stout called Quest on right now. That's an old homebrew, right? I mean, but it's just been one of those things that's carried over.
That's awesome.
It's just fun to do. And a beer name is a beer name, right? But ultimately the liquid inside that glass is what we focus on. And that's where we put the quality in there, right? And then we just put a cool name behind it. And
ready to go.
It becomes something great, man. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, hey, we're gonna be here with the Fantasy Guys. Our boy Jason is here. We're gonna be here from 12 to 3 p.m. Come through, have a drink, grab some food.
Good stuff.
It's gonna be a fun time, and we're gonna be here helping out with all your drafts, fantasy advice. We're gonna have a live draft going for one of our listeners, and also doing one of our own. So it's gonna be a fun time. 12 to 3 p.m. here at Mad Brew. We are Mad Pecker Brewing Company. We're really excited, man. So Jason, we appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you, man.
You guys.
We'll see you guys soon. All righty. So we have our boy Rudy again back here. He said nothing healthy, Rudy. Nothing healthy is what he said. So
there's got to be something there. There's got to be something healthy somewhere around here.
There's something around here.
Sure. We'll find it. We will find it. You got to get it here.
But with that, Rudy, so let's talk about it. We had a question come up that I think we'll find a really good way to kind of move into it. We had another question from our boy Star Wars Stuff podcast over there. Go check them out. That's Joe Garcia's boy. Yeah. He asked, hear a lot of hype around Bijan Robinson. Now you're a Falcons fan, right? He said, what are a few of the reasons behind the hype for the former Longhorn?
So Bijan brings a new style of play to the NFL, and it's similar to what Jamar Gibbs does. So what you're going to see a lot of Bijan is you're going to see a lot more slant routes from the running back position. That's kind of weird. You don't see a whole lot. You kind of see a little bit of crossing pattern, stuff like that.
Yep.
But you're going to see him actually line up in the receiver position this year. So you may go with no running back, in the backfield for the Atlanta Falcons. Kind of give Desmond Ridder that old University of Cincinnati vibe where it was just air raid type of stuff. You know about air raid, Texas Tech stuff. You're gonna see that with the Falcons. They've got Drake London, they've got Kyle Pitts, they've got other guys. Tyler Algier is another good running back that's gonna come out of Atlanta. But with Bijan, he brings the catches, he brings the receptions. He's gonna bring the running back also as well. He's gonna be in the backfield. He's gonna get 2 yards that way. He's just a dynamic person that you want on your team. Sad to say, man, I wasn't happy they drafted him as a Falcon fan. There were other needs filled. But you have that exciting player for fantasy reasons. You want to draft him. He's going in the first round pretty much.
You're paying a premium.
Draft.
Yeah, you're paying a premium.
Yes, but you're going to get everything that Christian McCaffrey gives you, but a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Just a little bit quicker than CMC.
I mean, you look at it, Bijan Robinson, if he finishes as a top 3 running back or number 1 or number 2, nobody's going to be surprised.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have the frame for being a bell cow running back, but I think you're looking at somebody who can get, 13 to 15 touches a game possibly, but also catch, 5 to 6 balls. And that's fantasy relevant by a mile. So my thing is in the first round, aside from Travis Kelce, if you're in the top 3-5 picks, you're not going to really hear much from me and Rudy of telling you not to draft. In that first round, if you're drafting Cooper Kupp at number 2 or 3, that's up to you. Drafting Bijan at number 1, it's up to you. All those guys could finish within that area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Justin Jefferson is the clear 101 for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But Bijan Robinson, you're normally getting pretty late in that first round, about 7 to 10, depending on your draft. Now, if you're a Texan, right? If you're here in San Antonio, most likely he's not going to be there because you have a lot of people who are Longhorn fans and want to ride that wave. But Bijan is definitely somebody to keep a look at and take a look at in that first round. We're talking about somebody who can be absolutely dominant, and in Dynasty should be probably the first name off the board.
Yeah, in Dynasty, he is the first name off the board. I've already drafted in 2 or 3 Dynasty leagues already, and he's the very first one off the board, and Jamar Gibbs is number 2 coming off. But I'm going to do what Jeff says a lot of times on Twitter from Locked On Spurs, pump the brakes on Bijan when it comes to fantasy relevance. You've got Desmond Ridder. Yep. He's technically a rookie quarterback this year. So we don't know what we're getting out of Ridder this season. If you're going to rely on Bijan to being that power horse back and not catching a lot out of the backfield or doing slant routes, it's going to be tough for Bijan to be a top 3 running back. But I mean, I'm not opposed to him saying that he's going to be Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey type production with everything that he brings. But again, kind of there's the reason why he's going on the low end, first round, high end, second round because of Ridder. If we know that Ridder's going to be that quarterback, then Bijan's value just goes sky high.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that plays really well into our next topic. Let's talk a little bit about late running backs, man. We just said our first question of the day from our listeners was kind of, what is your take on the most important thing to know about drafts this year? And we both said wide receivers are so heavy this year at the top and are so much more valued, I think, than your running backs this year, outside of maybe 4 or 5 names that we talked about. And so with that, most people will take that 0 RB approach. Now, a lot of people are going to go back-to-back running backs. That's just how people normally draft. That's how they're used to. It's a very common approach. In this year, you and I both, we've drafted in a few leagues together and have mock drafted and stuff. You and I rarely kind of go back-to-back running back. We're very much wide receiver heavy at the top. If you're doing that 0 RB, or you take one of those top guys, a Saquon, a Bijan, a Eckler, whatever, and maybe you get a wide receiver to pair, and maybe you go Mark Andrews in the 3rd, and then you take a quarterback in the 4th. We're talking about a 5th to 6th, 7th, 8th, that late second round, second RB, or your first RB a little bit later on the draft at a 0 RB strategy. What are you looking at running backs late? Who's kind of impressing you? We'll kind of bounce a few names off for some listeners.
So guys that are going late, roughly, you're looking at Kenneth Walker. He's going pretty late in some drafts right now.
Yep.
He's a starter for Seattle. He puts up really good numbers. But again, a lot of the guys that we're going to mention, you want to grab them, but you want to handcuff them as well.
Yep.
So go in and get a Zach Carbonet, to back up Kenneth Walker, who is injury prone. But again, that's one name that you see falling. The guy that I see falling to that could be really relevant is Breece Hall from the Jets.
Yeah.
You've got Dalvin Cook as well, who's also fell in the league that you and I are in. But you want to go back, handcuff Breece Hall with Dalvin Cook. Those are 2 guys that I'm looking at right now that are late round picks, but are going to bring you some value. Javonte Williams out of Denver is another guy that I see falling. Again, you're
taking a shot.
You're taking a shot. These are guys taking a shot on. Guy that's relevant every single year, and I scratch my head on it, but I still draft him late because he's there. James Conner.
Oh, dude, one of my favorite guys.
James
this
Conner,
year.
for whatever reason, you're like, when is this guy just going to break
Always-
down and go away? But
always an RB2.
he never does. So he's another late round guy that you want to grab. And again, if you're not getting the top 5 guys in the running back position, those tier 1, high tier 2 guys, just go wide receiver.
Yeah.
Grab a tight end. The one guy that I'm going to mention to you, he's right outside tier 1. He's in tier 2. And it's sad that I'm saying that, is Derrick Henry. He's falling.
He's falling like crazy.
He's falling like crazy. But if you get Derrick in the 2nd round, early 3rd, you have just pulled off a great move, because Derrick Henry is still going to be that power back. He's still the strong workhorse that you want to see. He's going to be goal line guy.
Yep.
He doesn't have anybody behind him except what Treylon Burks is the one guy behind him that you have to worry about. And even at that, it's not a worry. All you have to worry about is ankle injuries for Henry.
Yep.
And I don't see it happening this year.
So I think a lot of those guys you mentioned, I like a lot. I love James Conner this year. He only scored, I think, like 7 touchdowns. In the year before, he scored like 16. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely, hopefully, some positive touchdown movements for this year. If he scores 8 to 10 touchdowns, we're talking about possibly a top 12 running back. He's going pretty late. Another guy I like is Cam Akers, who is falling. Cam Akers in the past has had a lot of people behind him, right? Sony Michel, you had the name slips me. Daryl Henderson. But I mean, you had a lot of guys behind him who would just constantly be vultures for his fantasy points, right? Now there's not much behind him. Cam Akers is kind of the guy. Last year, you saw them kind of punt the season almost once they were down.
Yeah.
And Cam Akers was the running back 6 for the last like 5-6 weeks, which is murdering it. Got a ton of usage. He can be that guy. He's had injuries in the past, so definitely looked at taking somebody else possibly as well. With him, I would definitely draft Cam Akers. I like him. Javonte Williams is an interesting one you brought up, right? Tore basically everything in his knee. And then
didn't have a knee left.
But also, I mean, you look at it, the team is constantly saying that he might be ready for week 1.
Mhm.
I don't know how. But if not, Samaje Perine is there in Denver and has been there in Cincinnati and was a great back, can catch, can get those PPR points. So I would take both. Samaje's going super late in like the 11th, 12th round. You can take Javonte, take a swing on it, come back and handcuff it. I like that. And then another one that I'm drafting almost all the time, man, because of where he's going. Love me some Rachaad White at Tampa Bay. They absolutely suck. So Rachaad White could be getting some movements in the passing game. I think that will be beneficial. And then another thing that I really like and enjoy is, of course, my boy Alexander Mattison. I think he's going super late from the Vikings. He could possibly be a top 15 running back. I think a safer play is maybe just having him as your RB2 if you take one of the other guys. But definitely somebody who should be getting the work. Barring any trades or anything. We're just talking about the landscape right now, right? We have no idea what could change. Jahmyr Gibbs is also a great one to look at, but I mean, Madison could be really healthy when it comes to getting good reps for the Vikings if they don't add. I know they had Kareem Hunt take a visit over there. If that happens, that might change the trajectory. But today, if you're drafting, I like that. We also heard Jonathan Taylor is getting some looks from a few teams like the Eagles. I'm staying completely away from the Eagles backfield. I want no part of it. I never do. They're always all over the place. What are your thoughts on kind of Miles Sanders, though, for Carolina? Also a late pick in the 5th, 6th round. That's dropping, and I think has some potential there. It's just Chuba Hubbard's there. They have a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks tend to not really dump down to the running back. So PPR, I mean, could be very helpful if they start doing that in Carolina, but I don't know, man. Miles Sanders is definitely an interesting name that had a great year last year. Is one of those guys similar to James Conner that is going to give you headaches and also win you some weeks. But what are you thinking about kind of him and his trajectory?
So Miles Sanders, man, this is the part. You went from Miles Sanders was round 1, 2 type of RB being drafted to, honestly, in some of the leagues that I've seen, I'm looking at 14th, round 14, round 13 possibly, because you don't know with that offense. It's like I said, Carolina's offense is terrible right now. They've got a rookie quarterback in Bryce Young. You don't know what you're going to get there. The team in general is just not going to be good at all. So what value does Miles Sanders bring to you? If they're going to stack the box, he's not going to be a great running back. Is Bryce Young going to be able to get the ball to him in the backfield, make slant routes or anything like that? We don't know. I mean, screen passes, but that offensive line in general too is terrible too. So that's why I'm completely staying away from Miles Sanders. That is one running back who is a big name that I am just completely off the board with. He's not on any boards that I have. I can give you, 500 guys on my draft board, and he's not one of them.
Yeah, I mean, right now, compared to the ESPN draft trends, I mean, right now, he's going in the 6th round. I'm talking about a guy who was in the 1st round just a few years ago. He's going behind James Connors and Rashad Whites, right before Alexander Madison's. You also have the James Cooks of the world in Buffalo. If they don't add anybody, could be somebody to take a shot on.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, but a guy going behind all of those is Cam Akers and also Isaiah Pacheco, who might be interesting for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I like that as well. Let's talk a little bit about late wide receivers. Best ball redraft, stuff like that. That could be fantasy flex plays. Somebody I think who's getting disrespected in leagues constantly, and it happens every year, man. It's death, taxes, and Seattle Seahawks wide receivers getting disrespected. Tyler Lockett is going pretty late, man. What are your thoughts on Tyler Lockett and how he trajects as a wide receiver? I mean, somebody who finished in the top, I think 16 last year and is going to like round 4, 5, 6 this year.
So with Tyler Lockett, you worry about injuries all the time with Tyler Lockett. And you know what? Tyler Lockett has gone from that productive and that really good type of receiver to someone who is kind of bang or bust type thing. It's boom or bust with Tyler Lockett. DK Metcalf is that guy, but what hurts Tyler Lockett the most coming into this season is once you get Jackson Smith and Jigba back. That's going to hurt Tyler Lockett. You're going to get the speed. You're going to get the receptions from Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett, I think his production is going to come down. But again, you drafted him in best ball. That's the reason why he's the perfect best ball guy, because he's going to have 1 or 2 of those games where it's going to be 20-plus fantasy points.
Yeah, no, he will. And I think for me, another few names I like a lot, Zay Flowers has really piqued my interest late, man. One of those guys for Baltimore where we've seen Rashad Bateman have the reins, do nothing fit. Hollywood Brown was easily their best wide receiver one, and even he wasn't a wide receiver one in fantasy.
No.
Zay Flowers, I think, could easily slide into possibly flex consideration weekly and maybe more. I mean, we're talking about 4.42 speed, helps Lamar Jackson, can run great routes, has stopped with his drops from college, has definitely got better. We saw him in preseason take a screen pass like 20 yards to the house. I mean, he has explosive possibilities, and I like Zay Flowers a lot. Also, talk to me a little bit about, Are you in or are you out on some of these Denver wide receivers? I know Jerry Judy's up on a lot of people's boards. I like Cortland Sutton as far as the value when it comes to him or Judy. There's like a 6-round difference. And so I'm definitely taking Cortland Sutton mostly. But what are your thoughts? Do you think Russell Wilson still has a little bit in the tank?
I think he does. With Sean Payton coming in, it's going to make a lot of a difference for Russell Wilson. You're right about Cortland Sutton. He's being drafted really late. I think he deserves a higher draft position than where he is being drafted. Jerry Judy's a great pick there. But with Jerry Jeudy, comes with injuries. So I think Cortland Sutton is that guy that's going to be the main guy. If you haven't ranked Sutton, Jeudy, Mims, I like Sutton a lot more because the value's there for where he's being drafted in these fantasy drafts.
Yeah. Any other late wide receivers that you're looking at that you've been drafting quite a bit of? I know I always talk about Romeo Doubs taking the shot late in like the 14th round. Why not? I love Jordan Love, seems to have a good rapport with him. So I like that one as well. But anybody you're taking a shot on a little bit later on in drafts, whether it's best ball, redraft, dynasty, just something to give you something up to a type of play.
So 3 guys in mind that I've actually loved late round that you don't see a lot of going up early. One of them, the rep that these 2 guys have had is unbelievable. I'm talking about Pickett and Pickens. George Pickens has been going pretty late in a lot of these drafts.
Pickett and Pickens is a tongue twister, boy.
Yeah, it's a very bad. But, Deontay Johnson is going to get a little bit more love this year.
Yep.
But I think Pickens is going to give you that big game value, those touchdowns, those Odell Beckham type moments when he was a rookie.
Yep.
So Pickens is one guy I definitely love. Gabe Davis is the other thing. You don't know what's going on in Buffalo with Stephon Diggs. But one thing for sure is Gabe Davis has improved year after year after year. Best ball is perfect for Gabe Davis because he gives you those 2 touchdown games where you're getting 20 fantasy points. And that's what I'm looking for there. But one guy in particular, man, is Sky Moore. He's that guy. And I drafted him in our league.
You drafted him in our league. So talk to me about that, because there's some people just believe Sky Moore's just bad at football. There's some people just believe like he's just not there anymore. We saw him try to get that opportunity when Tyreek left. What are kind of your thoughts? Sky Moore, somebody you like. Tell me why. Why should people be drafted and what should they be looking for?
Because I can't really trust Kadarius Toney right now. And the thing with
fair enough.
Yeah,
that's the argument. Period.
You can't trust Kadarius Toney. All you can do is trust Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
I agree. You've got Patrick Mahomes, who's arguably the best quarterback in football.
Yep.
No doubt. You've seen him make guys better around him.
Yep.
You don't have Juju there no more.
Yep.
So why not Sky Moore? Sky Moore has the speed. He can catch plenty of balls. He's very explosive. I think him and Patrick Mahomes are going to be that 1-2 combo this season for the Chiefs. I'm drafting him. So if I'm drafting him, you best be drafting him as well.
Listen, I get it. Simon has the opportunity once again. Another name I love, man, is getting absolute disrespect in fantasy. I have him in every best ball that I've done so far. I've done about 3 or 4. And then I also took him, I believe, in our keeper one is Tyler Boyd, man. Tyler Boyd for the Cincinnati Bengals. Finishes a top 30 wide receiver last year. When it comes to the best ball format, if Jamar goes down, if T. Higgins goes down, we're talking about somebody who easily slots in as a wide receiver 2, slots in as a weekly flex, if not your wide receiver 2 when it comes to certain formats.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be absolutely somebody to look at, and he's going super late. You're talking right when you're looking at defense and kickers. Yeah. Why not take a shot on somebody in a great offense, right? Yeah. We talk about preparation meets opportunity. The dude has been there in the league for a long time, has been fantasy relevant for a long time. Yeah. Why not take a shot on our boy Tyler Boyd?
I do like Tyler Boyd a lot, but again, you're kind of banking on Higgins going down or Chase going down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's be real, man. Burrow has his guys. He's got Higgins.
Yeah, he does.
He's got Chase, and that's kind of the reason why you see Tyler Boyd dropping a little bit. But he's worth that late round pick, like kind of where you got him in our draft. You got him late. That's a perfect spot to get him in. Tyler Boyd can be very explosive, but again, when you're talking about best ball, when they're able to open up the field and able to just throw the ball downfield, Tyler Boyd is that guy that can get you those 17 points in a week. So, best ball is perfect for him.
And in best ball drafts, before we shout out our sponsors, in best ball drafts, which we're going to be doing today here at Mad Pecker, we have a 10-person draft, $25, lots of great ways to win. But with that, best ball drafts, you draft one time, no free agents, no trades. So you're drafting Tyler Boyd, perfect person in case one of those wide receivers goes down. You now have season-long play for that type of wide receiver late. A lot of people definitely take, a few quarterbacks, a few running backs, because what happens is you're taking the best of your team. There's times in fantasy football where, man, I didn't play this dude and he could have won me this week. He went off on my bench. You don't got to worry about that in best ball, man. You draft your team, no trades, no free agents, but you get the best possible outcome from your team. The best at each position gets scored, so you have the best possible score for your squad as a whole. So it's a great opportunity. We look forward to doing that. Again, we are here at Mad Pecker Brewing Company to shout out our sponsors. We're going to be here from 12 to 3 p.m. We're doing our live show before doors open. We're making sure to scout the place out. We got a little section for us over here. Come check us out, the Fantasy Gods and Mad Pecker Brewing Company. I'm going to be drinking plenty of IPAs and L's. I know my boy Joe Garcia is ready to get to drinking right now already. But with that, come try out some great food, from burgers to your great chicken sandwiches to your pizzas, all that good stuff. It's going to be a fun time here at Mad Pecker Brewing. IPAs, L's, lagers, sours, and more. It's going to be a great time here at Mad Pecker Brewing on Tesla Road. Come check us out, 12 to 3 p.m. We will be here live. Now, Mudslingers, your favorite local drive-through coffee shop. You and I, man, sometimes we wake up, you need that pick-me-up. Mudslingers is exactly where you need to go.
Probably my drinking days back in the day. Yeah, I definitely had to hit up Mudslingers.
Mudslingers was awesome for sure, man. They're the best sponsor. They're awesome to definitely go check out. Why would you go anywhere else, right? You got your Starbucks, but that's too basic. Support local. Support Mudslingers. Are they doing banana pancake drinks? I don't think so. Are they doing the alien, right? Shouting out to Wemby? No. Are they doing the greatest mini donuts known to man? No. Mudslingers is. Only Mudslingers. Go check them out. Your drive-through coffee shop here in San Antonio. You want a caramel macchiato. You want the mini donuts. You want the alien. You want anything and everything, especially that cinnamon bun avalanche. It doesn't sound too healthy, sir, but it sounds like a definitely great drink.
My diabetes in remission is coming back.
It's coming back. However, we want to shout out Mudslingers. Big shout out to them. Go check them out. Get your coffee at Mudslingers. And Bexar County Social Apparel over there at Bexar County Social Apparel, helping you stock up for all UTSA athletics, Spurs, Brahmas, anything San Antonio. I'm rocking some paisley print San Antonio Spurs shorts from Bexar County Social Apparel, one of my favorite pairs of clothing. Go check them out. If you're a San Antonian, if you're a proud person here in San Antonio to be rocking anything San Antonio athletics or pop culture, Bexar County Social Apparel is the place to be. And also a great follow on Twitter. Go follow all of our friends here from Mad Pecker to Bexar County Social Apparel and Mudslingers. Now, back to the show a little bit, brother. When we talked about Kelsey a little bit earlier on, right? We talked about tight end. When is it too late to take a tight end? And for you have brought up a few late names, but who's kind of your favorite tight end to reach for later on in drafts? And when are you taking them? You taking them after your defensive kicker, before your defensive kicker? What are you doing to do? Oh, we got a few comments to get to too, huh? Let's check the comments first before we get in there. So we have Noah. Noah Bettis, who said, does the Pierre Strong Jr. news move the needle for Nick Chubb? For me, Nick Chubb's always in consideration at the back of that round one. If you can go Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, and Nick Chubb, that's a solid start to a draft as well.
That's a big time duo right there. That kind of checks basically what you need at the running back position and the wide receiver position. Nick Chubb's going to be that guy no matter what. Yeah. So I'm confident Nick Chubb doesn't really move the needle on Nick Chubb for me at all.
Okay, fair enough. I'm confident as well on Nick Chubb. Noah Pettis also asked about Justin Ross, who's looking real nice in the Chiefs camp in preseason games. Could he be the wide receiver for Mahomes? I'll be honest. I don't know if that's in the realm of possibilities, but there really isn't a clear wide receiver one right now.
No.
So to your point, Noah, we could be looking at that. Maybe a name to definitely target at your last pick in best ball, your last pick in maybe redraft, somebody who maybe you're not going to lose a lot on, but possibly could be a big hit.
He's a great dynasty guy. Yeah. I mean, he's someone that you draft in dynasty and you kind of stash. But if we were looking at receivers for Kansas City, I mean, you're going to have to put Kadarius Toney there just because of, veteran experience, but for me, if I'm looking at it, it's Sky Moore and Kadarius are 1-1 right there. That's what I think. But after that, I actually have Ross, then I have Rashee Rice.
And Rashee Rice has also looked good.
Rashee Rice has looked good. All these receivers have looked good. Now, the problem is with Mahomes, he doesn't have a favorite. He doesn't have a Tyreek Hill. All he has is Travis Kelce.
Who he throws to a lot.
He throws to him a lot. So he doesn't have that Tyreek Hill guy. So you don't know who he's going to throw to in that offense. It's kind of like a coin flip. 1 week, Sky Moore is going to be the guy. The next week, Justin Ross could be that guy. Then Kadarius Toney could be the guy. And then you're coming back, Rashee Rice is the guy for 2 weeks. You just don't know. And that's the kind of the mind-boggling thing when it comes to Kansas City's offense. It's Mahomes, it's Kelce, and then it's whoever the hell else is there.
Yeah, well, I will say for best ball drafts, you draft guys similar to like that, especially because people are going to be taking Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, and best ball. If you have that last pick, why not take a shot Justin Ross? Where if he has a game where he goes 2 for 70 touchdown, I mean, you're talking about maybe a week winner for best ball drafts when they're tallying up that week. I mean, you definitely want people to be explosive, and when you have somebody like that who can be explosive, I'm definitely looking at it now that you bring it up. When it comes to best ball drafts, I think it could be a possibility, and you want people like that take a swing on a little bit.
Yeah, because it works for bye weeks too.
Yes,
I mean you could have Jamar Chase, and he's on a bye week, but yet you have Justin Ross or Rashee Rice there, and they go get you 8-9 points. Well, instead of the 0 you got 9 points, which makes a whole difference in best ball.
Yeah. So with that, let's talk a little bit now about tight ends, sir. So we had talked about Kelce, all that good stuff. When it comes to tight ends, when is it too late to take a tight end? And what tight ends are kind of you targeting late? So
normally, just personal experience, unless I'm in the first, second round, late in the first round, I would look at Kelce there. Second round, if I'm drafting late in second round, if you still see Andrews there, I wouldn't mind taking those guys there. But normally, I don't look till after, God, if we're talking 16 rounds, I'm talking maybe round 13, 14 is when I'm looking at a tight end.
We got one of our boys in my keeper league do a Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. Yeah. And we were like, what is going on? I don't know what's I wouldn't do that maybe, but hey, if you trust
there are some guys that you just want to draft the tight end position because now they're receivers. I mean, Travis Kelce's a receiver technically.
Well, and those onesie positions are super important because Travis Kelce in many years has been the number one by a mile, not even close. We're talking about like 100-point difference. So
remember Tony Gonzalez?
Yeah, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, guys like these are like, if you hit on them and they are great for you, you are ahead in that league by a mile at that position.
Yeah, exactly. And a guy that drops a lot now is George Kittle. I mean, he's dropping a whole lot in leagues.
6th round, 5th round, 7th round.
He's going to be productive with Brock Purdy. We're not going to lie, but is he going to give you Travis Kelce numbers?
It's a lot of mouths to feed. You, Debo, McCaffrey.
Exactly. There's just too much there to go around. But then you look at late guys. I was able to grab Tyler Higbee, I think, in the 14th round.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. I mean, if you're completely punting the position and you're like, I don't give a shit who I get, Tyler Higbee is a safe bet to be a top 10 tight end for no other reason besides he just is that dude for Matthew Stafford sometimes. Such a check down. He's not going to give you a league-winning performance. He's not going to give you 30 points, but he's going to give you 8 to 15 every single week pretty much.
He's going to give you what you want out of the tight end position if you're not Travis Kelce, if you're not Mark Andrews.
He finished as the number 6 tight end last year, and he gets still disrespecting this going as like tight end 15 this year.
Yeah.
So definitely a late one. I like. Good choice.
David Njoku is a surprising one. He's going to have a good rep with Deshaun Watson.
This is kind of a make or break for David Njoku. I feel like we always talk about him as possible breakouts. The athleticism is there. The target share is there.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him play a full season, obviously.
Yeah.
Could that be a change? I like that one too.
Yeah, Njoku is good. I think with Watson, it's going to be real beneficial for David Njoku. I mean, of course, he's got Amari Cooper there, and he's got Elijah Moore as well to compete with. But where Njoku is going to make the difference is in the end zone, in the red zone. I'm sorry. So you're going to see a lot more, if not Nick Chubb, you're going to see a lot more, back of the end zone type passes for Njoku, where Watson is way better at quarterback than obviously Baker Mayfield was back in the day for the Cleveland Browns. But another guy to keep in mind too, who's kind of going late. That I like a lot, and I've talked about him a lot, is Greg Dulcich from Denver. Russell Wilson, I mean, he likes to spread the ball around. And with that receiving core, if you don't know if you're going to get an injured Jerry Jeudy, an injured Cortland Sutton, Dulcich's going to be the guy. And he's not just a red zone guy. He's a downfield guy.
Yep.
So he's going to get you that 30-yard pass, that catch for 30, 35 yards. He's going to be in the end zone. He's going to make a difference. I feel like Dulcich's going to be within the top 15 at the end of the year. He's going to be one of those fantasy guys that's going to be relevant. He can help you win that title. Look for him late in drafts because he's actually going undrafted in a lot of drafts.
He's going undrafted in a ton of drafts. And I think also Russell Wilson likes the tight end position. We've seen that before. Yeah. And I think he's almost like a great value George Kittle. Has the athleticism, can go and get you some points. I think he has the potential to even be a top 10 tight end at the end of the year, only because that position sometimes is not the most heavy scoring. So maybe a few big weeks keeps him in that conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with Judy's injury, Cortland Sutton's injuries in the past, Javonte Williams' injuries in the past, it's pretty wide open for Greg Dulcich to be utilized pretty well. And also Sean Payton loves tight ends like Taysom Hill and athletic tight ends. He loves putting them out in crazy ways. I heard an interview that he said he's going to be kind of a really special player for them and utilized in different ways. So I like Greg Dulcich a lot, actually, when it comes to maybe drafting late for best ball or just waiting to see a week and maybe picking him up on your waiver wire, your redraft leagues. Another one that I really, really like, of course, we talked about Darren Waller. He's not going super late. That's on the 7th. But a later one that I really enjoy, I think, who's also going undrafted in a lot, Cole Kmet, man. He had a great year, got a good contract. Justin Fields hopefully gets better as a passer. Now you got DJ Moore now. Right. But aside from DJ Moore, are we really scared of Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool? They haven't done much for us in a long, long time. So I feel like Cole Kmet, for somebody who doesn't have maybe the best deep ball, and Justin Fields is a very good safety blanket to have. He's going to give you very good numbers. Finished as a top guy last year. Got a great contract. Had a lot of touchdowns actually. That might come down a little bit. But I know Cole Kmet's somebody I'm looking at when it comes to tight ends. And then finally, somebody who I love, dude, and I got him in our league. I have him to this guy. There's guys who you just constantly draft for whatever reason. They just always pop up on your team. I am in 7 leagues so far. In 6 of them,
that's it.
I have Pat Freiermuth.
Oh yeah, Muth
constantly.
Yeah,
I mean, Pat Freiermuth is going super late. Finishes a top 7 tight end last year. I'm getting them in like the 10th, 11th round all the time. It's almost just like second nature for me to just depress. Like, oh, he's there. Let me just take him right there wherever I get him. But yeah, I love Pat Freiermuth. Another name that constantly is coming up. What are your thoughts on kind of Evan Ingram? I mean, in this Jacksonville offense. Now you have Calvin Ridley, still got Christian Kirk, you got Travis Etienne, Tank Brigsby now.
Yeah.
I mean, is it almost too much for Evan Ingram? He couldn't get it done in New York.
Yeah.
Can he get it done over here? He had an okay season last year, but what are your thoughts on him? A lot of people have been taking him a little earlier too.
I think people are reaching for Evan Ingram a lot. And he's one guy that, again, if he's in the 15th round, he's there, and I have everything I need already. I'm just playing around. I would maybe take Evan Ingram just in case. Trevor Lawrence he's going to take that step up. I think he's going to be high tier 2 quarterback this season. He's going to be one of the better ones in the league. But the reason why is because of Calvin Ridley, because of Christian Kirk. That's the reason why he's going to be good. It's not because of an Evan Ingram. Honestly, with me, Evan Ingram is kind of those one undraftable guys. And if you're reaching for him, you're reaching for him because he's a name. He was a name for a little bit in the Giants organization. He puts up a number here or there. It's not anything that's going to be, kind of like sexy. It's almost like a Robert Tonyan type situation where
count me out.
Yeah, like you see big games out of Tonyan and you're drafting him because you know what, and he's gonna go get you that 5-6 points, and you're like, yeah, Tonyan. But it never takes that leap. So you're like, I give up. I'm saying on Evan Ingram, I give up. The one guy I'm looking at too that I wanted to ask you about is, let's stay in Texas here. You see Dalton Schultz with the Texans. Now you've got a young quarterback. You've got Stroud there. So security blanket. That's all we talk about when it comes to young quarterbacks. Dalton Schultz, one of the better tight ends with the Cowboys and in the league. What kind of difference does he make for Stroud? But not only that, the tight end position for the Cowboys. You have
Ferguson.
You have Ferguson. I'm taking Ferguson all day, every day over Schoonmaker because Jake Ferguson is more athletic. I like him to be that blanket for Dak. But what are your thoughts on those two quarterbacks and the Texas teams? For NFL fantasy football?
It's a great question. Dak Prescott loves tight ends. Whoever is the tight end for Dallas Cowboys will be fantasy relevant, will be a top 12 guy. He might not be your starter, but could definitely fill in for a bye week or whatever. Jake Ferguson, Schoonmaker, both unproven. But with that, why not take a chance, especially if you already got maybe a top 10 end, if you got a Kelsey and you're looking for a backup, if you're looking for somebody that maybe has trade value, especially within your teams here, if you're drafting with fellow Texans who maybe are Cowboys fans and Texan fans, I think that'd be huge. Jake Ferguson is definitely my pick over Schoonmaker. I believe Schoonmaker had a touchdown, though, yesterday for the Cowboys. But Jake Ferguson is definitely one that I'm looking at. And then when it comes to Dalton Schultz, he might be one of the bigger steals of the draft. Now, I don't have any shares of him, but just looking at the opportunity, you got Stroud, you have who else? I mean, Nico Collins is going to be taking target.
John
Metchie should be good too, but probably slotting in as a wide receiver 2 behind Nico. Then you have Dameon Pierce, who's not a catching back. He doesn't have that expertise really. Could maybe get some, but does in the past has not seen it. I like Dalton Schultz if you're absolutely punting the position. I mean, to the level of like, I don't care about this at all. I'm stocking up on all my running backs, all my wide receivers. You probably have 2 really good quarterbacks too, which we'll get to later. But Dalton Schultz is somebody I definitely think could be beneficial. He's not going to be the most fantasy relevant tight end. That entire team is not going to be super fantasy relevant besides Dameon Pierce. And even then, Dameon Pierce, I have him slotted as kind of a mid-tier RB2, if anything. But with that, I really think you could get some benefit from Dalton Schultz if Metchie. You also have Tank Dell, right, who impressed in preseason. I don't know that CJ Stroud's going to be the best quarterback there for this first year. I wouldn't look at Dalton Schultz. I think you could still get someone like Higbee, someone like Dulcich that I think I believe in a little bit more, but an interesting take nonetheless. So with that, before we get into our last few topics, let's again recognize our sponsors. We are here at Mudslingers. We're here at Mad Pecker Brewing Company. See, I need coffee, brother. I'm over here thinking about coffee. But Mad Pecker Brewing Company, we are here on Tezel Road. Come check us out, 12 to 3 p.m. We're going to be here hanging out, drinking, eating, giving all the fantasy advice, and showing some love and networking with a few of our friends and colleagues, and of course some new friends. If you guys show up and decide to play with our best ball league, it's going to be the Beat the Gods Fantasy League on Underdog Fantasy. It's going to be a fun time. Rudy's never done best ball, so that's
weird.
So let's
every other league.
So I mean, you got kind of an up on a fantasy god here, and maybe he's going to take a few chances in there too. So that's going to be interesting. But that's going to be 10 spots. Me and Rudy have already filled 2 of them, so we got 8 more left. Come through at Mad Pecker Brewing Company from 12 to 3 p.m. And because my mind's already there, I already said it. I'm already going crazy over here. I might need a coffee, and I might need to slide through Mudslingers drive-through coffee shop. Mudslingers is your place for everything coffee, mini donuts, the alien, the banana pancake drink. I mean, you look at a caramel macchiato, you're looking at the cinnamon avalanche. I mean, just constant, incredible drinks over there at Mudslingers. Go support them. Go grab your coffee. Don't go anywhere else, man. Starbucks is overplayed now, brother. Go check out
Starbucks in a while.
Go check out Mudslingers. That's where it's at now if you're in San Antonio. And then finally, Bexar County Social Apparel, our boys. They are constantly putting out incredible products, incredible content on Twitter and social media. They're putting out everything from Wemby to Guadalupe, that is a necessity of a t-shirt, to these incredible shorts. I got these Paisley San Antonio Spurs shorts. If you're a Spurs fan, if you're a UTSA fan, if you are a Brahmas fan, or you just love San Antonio pop culture, Bexar County Social Apparel is where you got to go. It is the best spot for all things San Antonio. So we got a few more minutes left on the show, man. I want to ask you a question. We'll get some more comments. Let's check it out. We got a few comments here. We got Noah Pettis again. Speaking about the Texans are a weird team for me to read fantasy-wise. I don't know if it's Collins or Dell should be wide receiver 1. I agree, man. We just talked about it. We have no idea who's going to be there. Also, we don't know what to expect from CJ Stroud. What is he going to be like?
So Stroud's not going to be that big guy this year. I mean, obviously, you don't expect a whole lot. He doesn't have a whole lot of support with him. Dameon Pierce is probably the best offensive weapon he has outside of Dalton Schultz. But again, you got to get Dalton Schultz the ball. That's going to be the tough part. The offensive line isn't that great right now. It's still a work in progress. It's going to be better than what it has been. But Stroud is still not that guy this year. You got to give the Texans a little bit of time this season, to get better.
Absolutely, man. And our boy Chris Leha said, "Get the beers ready, boys. I'm heading over." That's what I'm talking about, Chris. We'll be ready for you, brother. And then we had a question about your team. You're a Falcons fan.
Why are we bringing these questions? Why are we bringing these questions? A little bit, especially with a Saints fan in the crowd right now.
Our boy Michael Jimenez is over here, so definitely come out of here to Mad Pecker Brewing Company. But we have a question about Kyle Pitts, man. Is he trustworthy? Or is this the year that we stop getting screwed by Kyle Pitts? Is this the year? Are you going to take Kyle Pitts in any of your leagues?
No,
you're a diehard Falcons fan.
Diehard Falcons fan, and you know what? I still haven't touched any shares of Kyle Pitts yet.
So what is it about Kyle Pitts that just isn't working?
Desmond Ridder. I mean, I love Desmond Ridder as a quarterback. I think he's going to bring, more excitement to the Falcons. But again, an unproven quarterback with a commodity like Kyle Pitts, it still doesn't work for me. I'm still not even high on Drake London. I mean, Bijan is the safest bet in this
Drake
Atlanta
London's going a little high, huh?
He's going by, in my opinion. Bijan is the best bet in the Falcons offense. Everyone else is just low end draft part.
Okay.
So if you're drafting Kyle Pitts in the first, 2 to 4 rounds.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a little game. I'm gonna throw out Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna throw out a few tight ends, and let's see. You tell me who you're taking. Okay. So Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
George Kittle. Kyle Pitts. And let's say Darren Waller. Probably going Waller. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's get late. Let's get a little crazy now.
All right.
Kyle Pitts.
Shit, no.
Kyle Pitts, Tyler Higbee. We're talking about like a 4-round difference.
Higbee.
So you would wait the 4 rounds.
Stafford uses that tight end position a whole lot more. And I think Ritter's, it's going to be a little bit tougher because you're going to have a lot of guys. A lot of linebackers are going to be keen in on Kyle Pitts.
Fantasy players, take notes. Just because you love your team does not mean your team is good for your fantasy squad. So, I mean, look at our boy over here.
Stay away from Cowboys.
Diehard Falcons. Stay away from, except CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard.
You got to get him the ball, right?
But,
so stay away from him.
Okay, listen. This is where we're going. This is where we're going to finish with. Let's talk about quarterbacks here, right?
All right.
Where does kind of your tier break in your top quarterbacks? Is it Jalen Hurts, those kind of 3, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, or what are your team break off?
So with me and quarterback positions, a lot of it has to do with scoring. I mean, if you got quarterbacks, if you're scoring quarterbacks at 6 points for a touchdown, obviously
different game.
You've got Mahomes. Well, let's do a basic 4 points.
Yeah.
Mahomes is tier 1, and then you've got tier 1, which is Josh Allen, which is right at the bottom of tier 1. There's a big separation for me between those two guys. After that, you've got Hurts, you've got Herbert, you got Jackson. You've got those guys that are coming in. They're all tier 2 to me.
Okay. Is Justin Fields in that conversation as well?
Fields is tier 3 right now.
Oh.
I do not have him tier 2.
Yeah,
no, Mahomes is 1. Yeah. Mahomes is really my only tier 1 guy.
Yeah, I have actually Justin Fields.
Are you buying Justin Fields property because of the preseason because you can throw a 5-yard screen pass?
No, I'm buying Justin Fields because he was a top 6 quarterback last year in that 4-point trajectory. So for me, Justin Fields has massive upside. If we're talking about a Herbert, somebody who finished outside of some bad games and some injuries, and then you talk about Lamar Jackson, who I believe in 4-point. Go test me on it, please. I want to say Lamar Jackson was like quarterback 14, something crazy. I mean, Geno Smith was quarterback 5. So that tells you how crazy that year was. But I mean, I like Lamar. I like Justin Herbert. I like all the guys in your tier 2. I just have Justin Fields stock in a lot of my teams. And I just think he's almost to me kind of a great value Jalen Hurts. He can run with the ball. He's going to give you some solid rushing. He can give you some touchdowns on the ground.
But what happens when you stop the rush?
That's the thing. You now have DJ Moore. I have no idea how much DJ Moore helps. Cole Kmet got a new contract. Khalil Herbert now catching the ball, which we've never seen. I'm in on Justin Fields, but if you're looking at a 6-point score, I mean, Justin Herbert by a mile over Justin Fields.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get that 4 to 5 touchdowns a game from Herbert.
So with that, as we kind of come to a conclusion, let's kind of look at that back half, right? If you're not taking those quarterbacks, right? So give me your top 6 quarterbacks real quick that you can kind of name off, kind of rattle off, just so overall, just quarterbacks that you probably are targeting for your teams. Give me like 6.
So for me, it's obviously Mahomes 1, Josh Allen, Herbert.
Okay,
we're talking Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Jackson,
Hurts.
Hurts is another one, and then if you're going like that 6th guy, it's kind of hard for me, man. I wouldn't go with Dak.
Okay.
I don't go with that at all. And
I'm saying Justin Fields, but that's me.
I don't. Justin Fields to me is once you load the box and
Yeah.
you stop him from running, can he get it 15 yards
Right.
down?
No,
you haven't seen you have not seen the consistency.
Right. Well, you all have Joe Burrow, right? You have guys like that.
Okay, Burrow would probably be that sixth guy to me.
Okay.
And that's where I'm thinking, okay, that's where I cut it off there. But with Burrow, I'm worried about the offensive line.
Right.
He's him standing up, correctly throughout the game.
Right.
It's good. Call me crazy, call me, whatever you want.
Uh-oh.
There's a guy that can finish, and Aaron Rodgers is another guy you got to consider.
Right.
But there's a guy. No,
Josh Allen's there. Yeah, Josh Allen's
There's a
there.
guy that I'm going to consider, and he's going to love this here, is actually Derek Carr. I am actually looking at him because
You're
he's
so
going,
gross, bro.
He's
That's
going
so nasty.
No, he's going so late in drafts.
Yeah, he is.
That I've drafted him in a couple of leagues already.
According to ESPN's live draft trends, he's going after Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
So as the number 20 quarterback off the board.
Remember what I told you. You got Michael Thomas there, who's not going to be Michael Thomas, but he's going to be relevant in some cases,
right,
especially in the end zone. Chris Olave, you're going to get Kamara back.
Yep.
So you've got more weapons in New Orleans than Carr has had anywhere.
I'm telling you.
You can't really say Taysom Hill. You're not going to climb up that hill at all.
So what about
Jamal Williams? Another one. Yeah.
What about late round quarterbacks? Somebody that I like, right, a lot, just because of what we saw last year, and not much has changed. If anything, the offensive line's got better. He's got more weapons for sure. If you're punting the position and you don't get those top 6 guys, right, you're just stocking up running backs, wide receiver heavy. You're stocking them all up.
Yeah.
Late. I'm talking about late after Dak, after Aaron Rodgers, after Tua, after Daniel Jones. Could you look back at Geno Smith and say, hey, let's run it back year 2? He finished quarterback 5. Could he not give us a quarterback 10? He was running. He was throwing. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf loved it. He looked great. Could you not run it back with Geno Smith and say, hey, I'm the last one to take a quarterback?
You can.
What happened?
You can, but the problem with Geno Smith, see, this is what a lot of people don't realize in football, not fantasy, but it's football in general. You have a quarterback that has a great year. Defense quarters didn't scheme for him.
No, now
you get a whole off season, and that's the reason why I said Justin Fields. I'm not high because now they know if we stop him from running,
right?
Can you beat us with your arm? Majority of the people will say no.
Right.
That's why I'm not high on Fields. But then again, same thing with Geno Smith. You saw what Geno did for an entire year. You could not scheme against that.
Are you taking the shot on Anthony Richardson as maybe a QB2?
Oh God, Anthony Richardson is terrible.
I mean, as QB2 could be RB1 if Jonathan Taylor is not.
No, dude. I mean, Anthony Richardson is Popsky fast around this. Like, you do not take a chance on Anthony Richardson.
What about? And here's the name that I like a lot as my quarterback 2, not my quarterback 1, but somebody I'm drafting maybe as a backup to fill in. Russell Wilson again going late. I mean, he's a guy who was a top 10 guy for almost a decade, and now he's going to have quarterback 17 off the board. I mean, why would you not take a chance on someone like that?
He's got the weapons around him.
Well, and one bad season has really skewed his fantasy outlook. But before last season, what was he, a top 8 quarterback off the board? I mean, now he's 17.
But you see what a bad season / bad off season does for you. Look at Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Josh Jacobs. I mean, they dropping all these things. But one guy that you cannot forget before we go, you cannot forget this guy. Draft him if he's available. That's Jared Goff. Don't sleep on Jared Goff. He's got the same weapons coming back. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm like, you got to roll with Jared Goff. I think Detroit is actually that team in that division too. So you got to roll with them.
It's going to be great, man. Fantasy football is going to be nothing. We are here to help guide you through all of it. We are here. Oh, it looks like Mudslingers is in the comments as well. Real quick before we go. Yeah, caffeinated and ready to go. If you need caffeine, go ahead on Mudslingers. And if you need a drink, come to Mad Pecker Brewing Company. We are here from 12 to 3 p.m. We are going to be talking everything fantasy. We have some people lining up already to start drafting. We're going to be doing our live draft with listeners and more. 12 to 3 p.m. Mad Pecker Brewing Company here on Tesla Road. That's going to do it, man. Anything you want to say to the fantasy football players drafting this today, next weekend? What are the outlooks looking like, man? Are you excited for the season?
I'm very excited. I've still got another 10
leagues.
You're
in like 30 leagues. You're ridiculous.
It's getting ridiculous. But you know what?
Do you have money for bills, brother? I mean, this
is where I hit up the bank.
Tight.
I hit up the bank for that loan, do a remortgage on the house or something.
Good
something
God.
Like that.
I'll tell you what though, as the season starts, for all you degenerates out there, We're talking gambling starting next week, baby, because your boy is definitely betting the mortgage. And we'll see what happens. Hey, college isn't for everybody. My daughter doesn't need to go. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying it might be trade school for Ileana, but I mean, looking at it, we're going to be definitely be talking about betting, gambling all next week and moving forward in the fantasy gods. We're going to be here to help guide you for not only draft day, but also throughout the year in your leagues. So thank you for joining. I am Brandon Big Papi Medina. Boy Rudy Compos, Joe Garcia, the best producer in the world. Come through, Mad Peckers, a special guest, an acquired taste in the building already. So definitely come through, say hello, grab a drink. We'll see you 12 to 3 p.m. Mad Pecker Brewing Company, Tesla Road, and the Fantasy Gods. We'll see you soon. Thank you, guys.